Hey everyone, here we are, week 3 of we're on Bubble Watch. That's right, this is where we watch to see if that bubble breaks here in the Jacksonville metro area. So we've seen the headlines all week. Here, check it out. Home listings suddenly jump as sellers worry they may miss out on the red-hot housing market. What housing bubble? U.S. new home sales just plunged to their pandemic-era lows. Ready to buy a house? Just wait a few weeks. Well, now we're going to see what those headlines are compared to what we really have going on right here in North Florida. Hey, like I said, I'm just a regular guy just looking at the numbers, straight numbers. No fancy algorithms, no fancy programs, none of this stuff. And we want to see a lot of that stuff you see on the news is nationwide. So again, I'm digging into the back end of my MLS account. Now, MLS stands for Multiple Listing Services. And we're going to look and see what the real numbers are. You're going to be doing it right with me as I show you the screen. So we're going to be covering, homes sold, active listings, pendings, all that. And you know what? Since this is June, we have the new monthly chart for May. Remember, in week 1 we had the April chart, so we didn't show it last week. Now we've got the chart so we can show that graph where the comparison between April and May and see what's going on. Hey, and then we'll compare also the mortgage rates, and then that other thing we were talking about, the new home sales. We didn't do that in week 1 because all of a sudden I start seeing these headlines. We're going to compare the new home sales and see if they've really taken a dive like what they've been saying all over the country right now. So let's get right to it. We're going to get into looking at these in the back end of my MLS. We're going to start with active listings. Okay, right now we've got there 3,508. That's 3,508 that are active listings right now on the market. Wow, 3,500. I mean, that's a lot of homes right now. And remember, the interest rates all started going up in January, okay? And that was supposed to kill everything. Well, these are homes that are on the market listed. So the inventory has increased, it looks like. But at the end of the video, we'll get the exact numbers. We'll compare week 1, 2, and 3. But 3,500, hey, there's some homes out there to buy if you're looking to buy. Now let's see how much sold in this last week. Okay, now we go to the sold numbers, and we're just going to go back 7 days, and there we've got it right there, 734. Wow, just think, 1 week, 734 homes sold. I mean, just here in the my northeast MLS system. I don't know, this looks pretty good. Let's go check out some more numbers. Okay, right now we're going to look at the pending. Click on the pending, and let's see, we want to go back just, let's see, 1 week, and there our pending is 732. So we got 732 pending, okay, for 1 week. Now what we want to do is we want to see the contingent taking backup, okay? Contingent taking backup, and compare that. Let's see, and that's 853, okay? Wow. Now remember that contingent taking backup, those are deals that there's contracts, okay? People have contracts. It's just a different way, that they list it, as far as those are people wanting to take backup versus the pending. They're under contract, but they're not taking any backups, or they've gone past, the inspection period, appraisals, and all the contingencies, and they're on their way to closing. So that's still some strong numbers. That's a lot of deals out there that are right now just under contract, waiting to close and waiting to go through the contingencies. And again, remember, not all these that are under contract end up being closing because of things like the appraisals, inspections, and getting the financing. So let's check out some more. Okay, here we're going to go after the expireds, and we're doing the expireds just 1 week back, and there we have 102. Okay, 102. Now let's look at, we want to look at the withdrawn and see what that looks like. Okay, so we'll click on the withdrawn here, and we're 1 week back, and the withdrawn, that's 67. So we got 67 on the withdrawns. Okay, Now remember the expired and withdrawns. Okay, the expireds are listings that ran at the end of their listing contract and they didn't sell, and we don't know why. Could have been price too high, could have been marketing, could have been several things. The owner just decided to stay put. We don't know. That usually happens with the withdrawn now is because, you know, a lot of times they're doing repairs on the house, put it back on the market, or they can't find a house that they're going to move to, or something fell through with their plans to move. So they just withdrew it, and that's usually a temporary, and then it does go into an expired status later if they decide not to put it back on the market. Hey, let's check out some other numbers. All right, what we want to do now is we want to look at the sold new homes only. We just want to do this. So this is something we're doing this week, and we did last week, which we didn't do the first week. So we're going to look at the new construction right now. Okay, that new construction comes up to 134. So we got 134 for new construction homes sold. That looks like pretty good, strong numbers. Again, we're going to compare it with last week's and week 2, and then we'll put it together in a chart and see how that does. Now let's go look at some of these graphs. Okay, now that we have the May numbers in, we can look at these stats and see how they compare with April. Now remember, the interest rates went up at this point here in January. That's when they started to climb. And so right now what we're going to look at is the median sales price. Okay, now last month in April it was $315,000. In May, $320,990. Look at that, almost $6,000 difference in the price went up. Now, what was it that we saw that headline right here? Ready to buy a house? Just wait a few weeks. I don't know if I'd rely on that. Again, we don't know what's going on. That's why we're doing this weekly thing, and we're looking at the real numbers right here, what's going on. Okay, so you're going to go by this headline here. Tells you to wait a few weeks. All right, well, right now we've just seen what last month's and this month's almost $6,000 up in the price of the home. Now, in a few weeks, what's going to happen? Of course, week 4, we're going to see if this trend still goes up or if it starts to level off. And then that's going to give you some insight as to whether this headline is advice to follow or not. Here, let's look at some more of these graphs. Okay, let's see here. Let's look at days on the market, okay? And we're looking at the median days on the market, and man, it's so flat here, it just bottoms out here. Okay, so we're seeing April and May. No change. Basically, the median days on the market is 15 days, and that's still short because look at where we were here. I mean, look at May, of 2021, 28 days. So it's cut in half, and that line has stayed flat. So we haven't seen anything there. So that's showing that we still got some good activity. So with a short amount of days on the market like this, that means there's still people out there looking and buying, and if you're a buyer, you can't wait too long to decide. I understand it's a big deal buying a house. You got to think it through, but a lot of your thought processes you need to start thinking through more before we start going to look at the houses on what you're going to do if you find something. Just for this fact alone. Here, let's look at some more stats that will back that up. All right, let's look at the month supply here, okay? We were at, in April, 1.4. Here we are, 1.4 again. Holy cow. The supply is still tight. It really is. So as you can see from these charts, a lot hasn't changed from those standpoints, but from the price it has gone up. Now let's go look and see what it is price per square foot. Now, because the median price went up, the price per square foot should go up, so let's check it and see if it did. Well, sure enough, there we are. We were at 178 in April, and now we're at 182. So again, that goes along with the increase in the price in the house, which is what we expect to see, and so that is flies in the face of that thing saying to wait weeks out. Well, I don't know. Right now, this line's been going up. Remember, here's when the interest rates went up. And now look at this line still heading up. So That's tough. All right, now let's go look and see what the interest rates have done compared to before. All right, here we've got, and we're showing here week 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're in week 3, and as you can see here, where we left off last week, you're at, you know, around 5 1/4. Now we're at like 5.43. And then if you look at week 1, where it left off, it was like 5.36. So this week it has gone up. As you can see, the trend here, as it started going up from 5.27, took a little dip there, but then went back up. So that's where we're at now. So the interest rates still have gone up, still in the mid fives, you know, or you know, and you know, now of course, depending on your credit, some could be more and some can be less. All right, now let's compare the charts with all those things we went through, the pending, the sales, and everything. Let's compare that with what we saw, you know, in the previous weeks 1, 2. Okay, here we are. Look at these numbers. Okay, from week 1, 2, and 3, active went from $29.94, $32.95. Now we're up to $35.08. So the trend keeps continuing up for us there. Sold $731. So we've seen an increase there from the previous weeks. Contingent taking back up, and pendings have gone down. Now this makes sense if you're thinking about, you know, as you got more solds and all out there, that the ones that are remaining pending, that means people are getting things done, sold. Now whether the mortgage companies are tightening up and more things are going through, or people are just, you know, worried about what's going to happen and they just want to get into a house. But either way, we're seeing it affect it, so that the pendings are starting to go down. Now look at, there we got the withdrawns and the expireds. As you can see, the withdrawns have gone down and the expireds have gone up a little bit. Okay, so the expireds have gone up a little bit, so does that mean that, okay, some of the people, maybe they're priced too high and the buyers aren't wanting to pay it? Don't know, but we're seeing that trend going down. And then look at the new homes sold from 62 to 134. Holy cow! What were all those headlines? Home sales in the toilet? Well, as you can see here in week 3, right now it still looks like it's a hot time to buy and sell. So nothing's really changed that much here, except of course the interest rates and the price of the houses, which have been going up, you know, all along. But as far as buying and selling, yeah, it still looks like it's a good time to buy and sell. So if you find something that you want out there, don't hesitate too long, because it's going to be like me, gone.